Guys, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, especially if you love college football as much as I do. Uh, yeah, I definitely think Florida's going to be a much better football team in 2023. I think that it's just going to take a few years for Billy Napier to really build his program and establish his program. Look at Mike Norvell, for example, with FSU. It's taken him, this is his third year, about to be his fourth year next year, to really establish Florida State as a respectable, good football program. Not just a team, but a program. Something he's been building. So I think Napier is going to need about that same time to make it to where Florida is a consistently good football program. It's hard to do that in year one. Norvell had a hard time. Obviously, the difference would be, I know Florida doesn't have a lot of elite talent. They have good players, but they don't have Georgia or Ohio State level talent. You know what I mean? Or Alabama for that matter, So it's going to take time to really establish that. By Napier's third year, with more recruiting, hitting the transfer portal, and just building that culture, I think they'll be in a much better position. Next year, even with Richardson gone, I know he was a good player, but he was also inconsistent. He also had problems with being a consistently good player in terms of his playmaking ability, Not that he sucked, but he obviously needed more time to develop than what he had in college. So I just think that it's just going to take time. That's just my honest opinion, all jokes aside. How many games should they win next year? About 7 or 8, maybe 9 at most. They should be able to do that. They might finish in the top 25. Most likely, And again, I don't think Florida's a bad football program. I just think it's one thing when you've been consistently bad for a long time versus having poor leadership from the previous coach and who didn't recruit well, who didn't really do his job very well and get his own players, which goes hand in hand with recruiting, but who probably allowed a lot of stuff that at Florida that Billy Napier doesn't allow, but he's still having to set a foundation for his first year and is still expected to win at a very high level because the SEC is a very high level. I don't think Napier is the problem with Florida. Again, it's going to take a lot of time. That's all. Again, given by his third year, Florida should be in the top 20, top 15 somewhere, maybe top 10. Because, again, it's very good. It's not too hard to recruit at Florida if you're a coach that wants to recruit. If McElwain could recruit good, Napier should be able to do it too. You know what I mean? Not a knock against McElwain, but he ended up, the players that he had there were all juniors and seniors by the time Mullen had his first 2 New Year's Six bowl wins. And even with Florida being in the top 10 during the COVID year, those are his players, not Mullen's players. So just give him some time. And I know I'm a Florida State fan. I know I trash talk Florida when they lose to Florida State. I know I make fun of them, but at the same time, I'm also a realist. You have to be honest. So if you think that he's going to turn that program within a year or two around to where it used to be with Tim Tebow and all of them, that's not going to happen. Florida State, it's taken a long time. Same thing. I just think Florida is not in quite as bad a shape to start off for the first-year coach than when Florida State was with Norvell. So if Norvell could do it, anybody else could do it, he can too. I think Napier's the right guy.